Hi, welcome to You Should Know This. I'm going to teach you a few things about hoax memes. I just spent 2 minutes ranting and raving and realizing that my microphone was not turned on. So, some people try to censor others for hoax memes. Xi Jinping here and his Chinese Communist Party like to censor people who say that he looks like Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, they're censoring people over this stuff. And of course, in England, they censor and arrest people who ask the nationality of the gangs that are doing bad things to women. I don't know how YouTube does demonetization phrases, so I'm going to be quiet, even though YouTube hasn't sent me a penny because you don't like, share, and subscribe. So there's the end of my rant. Welcome to You Should Know This. This is another special edition of Friday Meme Dump about hoax memes. So let's get into this and see what kind of problems we can get into. So this one, I think this is when I clicked on this to try to get the person's picture in there, it went to Gavin Newsom, governor of California's Instagram page. So I'm thinking he believes that insulin is $300 to $600 per month with insurance. Um, and then you got Bernie Sanders, owner of 3 mansions, talking about affordability and price gouging and things like that. And he says $275 for insulin. And since he's a communist, I'm not going to believe where he wants. If he talks about like a nice restaurant, I'm going to avoid that restaurant because he's probably trying to give me food poisoning because he's a communist and he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. So then you got Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, scammer of colleges. Yeah, that's the nicest way I can put it. She says that insulin is overpriced and people ration insulin, and she wants the government to make insulin. And if it's not a bomb or a bullet, the government is no good at making it. If you believe that government is good at making stuff, you're an idiot, and I don't want your restaurant recommendation. So, here's the truth about insulin. Wait a minute, before you can read all that, I'm going to go back to Pocahontas. There's another, I couldn't find the original social media post or a screenshot of it even about how a pharmacy tech watched a poor little old lady put her groceries back because she couldn't afford insulin because it was too expensive. And either that's a lie, and that person, or if they actually did see that and let it happen, they need to never work in a pharmacy again. Okay. I did 15 years in a pharmacy. The phrase heard most often is there's a cheaper alternative, is the phrase that you will hear most often in a pharmacy. So don't ever be afraid to ask the pharmacist if there's a cheaper alternative. And every pharmacist, every pharmacy tech hears that a dozen times a day. So that person, if they actually did work in a pharmacy at that time, should have been fired for letting that happen. Now, I'm going to tell you why this is a hoax meme. Insulin is not was not $300. Yes, there was one type of insulin that was $300. I'm not disputing that. But there's also a car that cost $1 million because that Bugatti Veyron does some amazing things. There are cheaper alternatives to the Bugatti Veyron. Now, I'm going to show you real quick what we got going on here. Okay. Now, this is Novolin insulin. Okay. And you'll see there's different shapes here. It's the same drug, Novolin 7030. But do you see down there at the bottom? There's one that's 200 and something dollars. Yeah, $200. Yeah, the one in the top left corner that's like $20. That's the same drug. You pull it up with a needle and a little insulin syringe, and you inject it in under your skin, and it does the exact same thing as the fancy pen down at the bottom. The fancy pen down at the bottom, you put a special needle on it, and it's preset, and it gives you the insulin automatically. Yes, it's 4% more convenient to spend $300 That's the difference between those two items. So, if people say, "Oh, insulin was unaffordable because Eli Lilly's gouging customers," um, they're lying to you. They're lying through their teeth. Now, insulin has been kept at $35, so they're probably either um, cutting back on the Lantus pins, or they're going to eliminate them entirely because it Lantus pin, the mechanism cost more than $10 to manufacture. So that's that hoax meme. Now, the next internet hoax that I've seen is the McDonald's burger that was kept for 24 years and shows no signs of decay. When I was working in the pharmacy, I wanted to be a pharmacist, and I had to take microbiology, and that tells you how mold grows and what mold needs to grow, and so on and so forth. And I'm telling you, this is a hoax. Yes, that McDonald's burger is 24 years old and shows no signs of decay. You got to think about this. You ever gotten a McDonald's burger look like that? What's missing? That's the scam. There's nothing on that burger. No pickles, no cheese. That's the scam. There's nothing wet on that burger for mold to attach to and rot. That's the scam. This chowhound.com article talks about it, how you need moisture to have rot. Beef jerky. They explain it. Beef jerky. Beef jerky lasts forever without rotting if it is kept dry. That's the scam. So if you know somebody who's talking about the McDonald's burger that doesn't rot and who doesn't say that it's a scam, that's somebody who has been lied to. Okay? Talk to them nicely, gently, and slowly because they believe lies. Okay? Just like this idiot who thinks insulin is $600 per month. Or this idiot who thinks you can live in 3 mansions somehow and still talk to people, to not talk to us normies about affordability. So before you go just sharing any random Facebook post you see, or Instagram post, or TikTok post, think about it for a minute and say, that sounds absolutely shocking and amazing. Maybe I should ask some old person who has learned a few things in their life. They might know and point out the little fakes in there. Okay? So, I hope y'all have a good weekend. Like, share, and subscribe. That would be a 6-7 move of you to like, share, and subscribe. So, yeah, have a good weekend.